Salve Kibili, this is Mickey Strabbetti with the Stage 28 lesson on impersonal verbs. Impersonal verbs are actually something we've been doing for a very long time. We just haven't called it that. An impersonal verb is a verb where you have the basic idea of it as the subject. A sentence that should look familiar is this one, Mihi placet hoc donum accipere. It pleases me to receive this gift. Or we could also say, I'm glad to receive this present. Receiving this gift pleases me. Nobis placet, it pleases us, or it is pleasing to us. In other words, we like it. All right, so what's new? We've got a couple of new impersonal verbs. For example, decet, nos decet praemium modesto dare. It is proper for us to give a reward to Modestus. We could also just say we ought to give a reward to Modestus. Tidet is another impersonal verb. This one's a little bit trickier to translate. It has to do with boring, or it is tiring. And the thing that is tiring will be in the genitive. So it makes me tired, or it is tiring to me. And then we've got of this life. It makes me tired of this life. I am tired of this life. Romanus numquam apportet hostibus credere. Apportet is a new impersonal verb, so it is right. But in this case, we've got a numquam, so it is never right for the Romans to trust the enemy. We could also just say the Romans must never trust the enemy. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a try. We've got 6 examples here. Copy them down, underline the modifiers, draw arrows to their antecedents, put parentheses around prep phrases, label as many of the other words as you can, and write out a translation. All right, for starters, to be placet. Placet here is our impersonal verb, so it is really the subject. Is it pleasing to you? Does it please you? Do you like it? Saltatricem spectara volo, me tidet kibiet vini. So kibi and vini are both in the genitive. Really, they're going with tidet. Saltatricem is an accusative direct object. We've got an infinitive here that's completing the idea of the main verb, volo. There's no nominative here, but we can look at the ending of the verb and see that the subject is I. Me is really your direct object. Again, we've got our impersonal verb here, tidet, so the subject is it. And so how are we going to put this together? Well, the first half is easy. I want to watch the dancer. I am bored of food and wine would be the smoother way to translate it. If you want to really dig into the grammar and try to do it the clunky way, it is boring for me of wine or of food and wine. It's really clunky. You could just say, I am tired of the food and wine. Semper pluit. Semper is an adverb. Pluit is our impersonal verb. So we'll start with the subject, it. It always rains. Britannos decet extra alla manera. So decet is our impersonal verb. The subject is it. We've got an accusative direct object. We've got a prep phrase. And then we have an infinitive here, to stay or to remain. And this is what we call a subject infinitive because it's really working in conjunction with the subject here. So to stay is proper, or it is proper to stay. It is proper for the Britons to stay outside the palace. Nunc ad vesperascit. This is our impersonal verb. It is the subject. Now it is getting dark. Nos apportet regnum cagadubini occupara. Cagadubini is a possessive, going with regnum. We've got our impersonal verb here, so it is the subject, but we have an infinitive, and it's functioning with the it as the subject. So it is proper to occupy, or to occupy is proper. So it is proper for us to occupy Cagadubinus's palace. Whoops. All right, so discipuli, remember the impersonal verbs are called such because they use the idea of it as the subject. There are oftentimes multiple ways to translate it. You just got to play with it. They will often have an accusative, a dative, or an infinitive that can also be worded as the subject or working with the subject. Wale to discipuli.